We have a review of the MOTU Origins cartoon collection version of the most powerful man in the universe, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And before we dive into the review, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a beat. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits, and we are taking a detailed look at the most powerful man in the universe, the cartoon collection Masters of the Universe Origins He-Man, and comparing him to the vintage, in air quotes, MOTU Origins figure and the 40th anniversary cartoon figure. So let's start off like we usually do and take a look at the packaging. And here we have He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. This is the cartoon collection version, and he looks fantastic. There is this 80s burst right in the corner here, and the card back looks outstanding. We have Castle Grayskull in the background, and the colors really remind you when He-Man summons the power of Grayskull with his power sword. We have the new cartoon collection logo on the bottom, and he is packed with a mini comic. So let's check out the back, and loving the card art here. And this is really an homage to the Masks of Power episode. And as you can see, there could be a little teaser here for Demos, who was featured in that particular episode. And you can also see He-Man summoning the powers of Grayskull with the Sword of Ancients. And on the back here, we also have the cross-sell. So we have the cartoon collection figures, which makes a really nice portrait on the back of the card with He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Skeletor, and Beastman. And as we all know, it includes the Sword of Ancients, and it also includes a regular power sword. All right, so let's break He-Man open and free him from his plastic prison. All right, now that He-Man is broken free of his package, we can take a look at the figure in more detail, and we typically start with the head sculpt and then we work our way down. And so I am loving this He-Man head sculpt. I think they finally are onto something, and this looks so much better than any other He-Man head sculpt that I've seen so far. He has very nice painted eyebrows, his eyes look great, and the page boy haircut is very nice. And it's just sculpted at the bottom here, and with these cartoon collection figures and giving homage to the animation, there was not a lot of depth and dimension to the hairstyles, and so we will rarely see a finely detailed hairstyle like we do on the regular Origins figures. All right, and moving down to He-Man's armor, it is a very nice metallic blue. It's more blue than gray here, and I really like it because it really stands out from the other armor, and it makes it feel like this is a Mattel Creations figure because the armor looks very premium. And you do have a sheath that comes on the back of He-Man, but if you don't like it, you can simply take it off as it is removable. And we can also see some of the other details from the back. Yeah, if you don't like the sheath and it's not your jam, he looks great without it. And moving down to the arms, we do get new arm sculpts. So new biceps, new forearms, and also the wrist cuffs on these figures are very plain. And again, with these cartoon collection figures, there's not a lot of detail to pull from the animation because it's the 80s. And same with his belt. His belt has the same shape as the Origins figures before him, but they lack the detail because it is paying homage to how he appeared in the Filmation cartoon. He has a nice brown loincloth, and we can look at it from the back, and we can also see the belt detail from the back as well. All right, moving down to these luscious quads. I mean, these quads are amazing. If I had quads like this, I would be super happy, but I wasn't sure about the X design pattern in the quads, but it actually looks super nice once you get them in hand. And again, the boots are a little more detailed than I thought. Beastman's were kind of plain, but these have some texturing and some sculpting detail to them. You can also see the shin and calf muscles as well, as He-Man is very ripped. Now, this is interesting. He has bulging biceps everywhere but the backs of his legs, so I think they could have molded some definition in there just to go along with the rest of his body. But that's really my only nit for the figure. I mean, the head sculpt looks great, the armor looks great, and I think they did an overall amazing job with this figure. All right, and the Cartoon Collection version of He-Man comes with 2 swords and a sheath, which is removable, which we saw earlier on. But let's take a look at the regular power sword, and this power sword is fantastic. It is made of a metallic silver, and it is the best looking power sword that I've seen on a regular standard carded figure. And he also comes with the sword that was featured in the Masks of Power episode, and the detail is very amazing next to the crossguard, and the crossguard is actually really nice. It's straight and it flares out to both sides there. The handle is wrapped very nicely in a very nice sculpted pattern as well. And so I'm super excited about this accessory because it is a deep cut into these MOTU origins and Filmation lore. So it's awesome to get these particular accessories in the cartoon collection. Now, if you are a fan of the sheath and you want to have the sword go into the sheath, it just really settles in right there. And so this is kind of how it looks. And we can see how it looks back on the figure, like so. And yeah, I love it because you can actually see it coming off of his shoulder, which gives him a very nice look for your display. And here's He-Man with his regular power sword, and you can also pose him in ways that kind of mimics the way that he would summon the powers of Grayskull in the cartoon. The only thing or only nit that I have is there is no articulation in his wrist, so you really can't have that true raising of the sword per se because the wrists don't articulate that way. And with a little sleight of hand with the camera, you can also see him summoning the powers of Grayskull with the Sword of Ancients, and he looks fantastic, and you can also pose him however you like it. And I really love this sword because it's very unique and it really harkens back to the lore of the Filmation cartoon episode, so I can't wait to see what other figures are coming down the line besides the ones that we already know about. All right, it's comparison time, and I picked out the vintage MOTU Origins version of He-Man that kind of mirrors the one that we got in the 80s, and also the 40th anniversary figure, aka Zoolander He-Man, and comparing him to his Cartoon Collection figure. All right, let's take a look at the Cartoon Collection He-Man next to the original MOTU Origins release. And the first thing that stands out, pun intended, is that these figures stand a little bit taller than their MOTU Origins figures that preceded them. You can see the change in detail from the Cartoon Collection, from the belts that are just a plain painted belt with no sculpting on them, versus the sculpting that you'll see on He-Man's belt right there. And you'll also see that there is a difference in the power swords. And so here is the power sword that came with the Cartoon Collection version and the power sword that came with the MOTU Origins version. And they just are light years different. All right, and next we'll take a look at the Cartoon Collection He-Man next to the Zoolander version of He-Man. All right, and looking at these figures side by side, you can really tell the difference here and what a drastic and dramatic difference is between both of the head sculpts. Now let me zoom in here, and I really love the way that the Cartoon Collection version came out, and this version that came with the 40th anniversary 4-pack was great, but it really suffered from the duck pursed lips that are on the head sculpt. And I'm actually fine with the hair sculpt on this figure, but very dramatic change and a very nice upgrade from the 40th anniversary version that we paid for in that really expensive 4-pack. You can also see some upgrades to the armor as well. The metallic finish on He-Man Cartoon Collection is very nice, and it really outshines the matte finish on the 40th anniversary version. And I would actually think that they would actually put more of a matte finish on the Cartoon Collection version because that's pretty much what it looked like. And it appears that they're using the same armor, just colored differently. And the cross on He-Man's chest on his armor here is a little bit lighter red than the version on the 40th anniversary cartoon version. And looking at the details below the head sculpt, you can see the differences here. The plain detail on the belt for the Cartoon Collection He-Man, although it is a shinier and a nice metallic paint app over the 40th anniversary version that we have here. And also, you can also see the differences in the leg sculpts, and you can see this cross X pattern in the quads, and it's not present in the quads in the 40th anniversary version. It also looks like the shoes are the same, and so we will take this back to the top so you can get one more look, and let's compare the swords, and we will try not to cross the swords here. All right, so there are two versions of this power sword. This one came with the 40th anniversary. This one came with the Cartoon Collection. And I actually really like the Cartoon Collection one because I'm not a fan of this vac metal finish on it. I think it's just too shiny, but your mileage may vary. You actually might like this power sword. So hopefully, oops, I just crossed swords. Hopefully, if you have this version, maybe you can swap them and make the version of He-Man that you always wanted. And that's a wrap on the review of the Cartoon Collection He-Man. And don't forget to visit our website where you can see an outstanding still image review and photo shoot done by the one and only Toy Sorceress. So let us know what you think about this figure in the comments below. Are you excited about the Cartoon Collection? Thanks for tuning into this Toy Habits review, and don't forget to smash that like button on the way out. And if you have not subscribed, we would really appreciate it. See you next time.